We'll be coming right back to the U.S. Nationals. At the U.S. Nationals at Indianapolis Raceway Park, it is Mark Oswald driving the Candies and Hughes special with a new engine. They hurt the motor in the first round of racing. Now they have put in a brand new engine to race against the reigning world champion driving the Chi-Town Hustler. This is Frank Hawley. Hawley from London, Ontario, Canada, has won the World Championship for 2 consecutive years, but he is out of the hunt in the points chase this season. The man that is leading, though, is Mark Oswald. He picked up those valuable bonus points by establishing a new national record, and he is hot after that World Champion title. The man that's already won the Top Fuel title is Joe Amato.
Joe Amato yells over at Canicoletta with a big smile. Looks like it's your turn. This World Championship would salve just about any wound here today, huh?
Yeah, we really wanted to try and do good and win the race, Steve. There's nothing like winning Indy, you know. It would have been the coup de grace, so to speak, you know. The car just had a little too much power in it. We took some power out of it because we thought the track would be going away, but apparently we didn't take enough out, and it just went out there and smoked the tires. I tried to pedal it, but it just, you know, it was just hopeless. It just overpowered the track.
Well, you've had a wonderful year, and you wear the World Championship beautifully.
Mark Oswald, number 2 in the world last season, wants to wear the number 1. He is racing against the man that won that World Championship last year, Frank Hawley, in the far lane. Oswald qualified number 1, Hawley number 5, but boy, this is a close race. Look at the finish, and it's Hawley by half a car length, and the upset. Very consistent, 5.79 seconds at over 256 miles an hour. Frank Hawley puts away the new national record holder, the points leader, and the man that qualified in the number 1 spot. Hawley, driving that Chi-Town Hustler, picked up a very slight lead off the start. He began to extend it and won the race.
Frank, 256 miles an hour, that's the fastest you've ever gone.
Well, generally we don't run it right to the last light, but when you're racing Mark, my goodness, I saw him about half track and he was in front, and their car always runs fast. I fell off a little bit, and I wasn't taking any chance. I drove it right out the back door, is what they say.
Even though you've won 2 world titles, this one's eluded you. You'd like it?
Oh, gosh, anybody that's ever drag raced would like to win Indy, the Nationals. All I ever do is I remember who was the world champion last year and who won Indy, and I want to win.
And he's on his way to the semis.
Steve, we'll find out in just a few moments how he does as the next pairing again. The relative newcomer against the KG veteran. The man from Columbus, Ohio, is Jim Head. His main claim to fame, he finished in the runner-up spot at the recent NHRA Cajun Nationals Championship down in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Head pulling into the water box, totally unsponsored, running the car on his own, does a very brief and short burnout. He's 35 years old and is regarded by many as one of the rising stars of the sport. He's racing against one of the true stars. This is Ed the Ace McCulloch, driving the other all-star racing team entry of Larry Minor. A huge crowd on hand under threatening skies. Last night, a severe thunderstorm struck this sprawling Indianapolis Raceway Park facility. In fact, rain earlier this morning delayed the start of competition, but the track now dry and safe. Let's go down to Steve with Mark Oswald.
Boy, Mark, you hated to change engines, but it had to be done, huh?
Yeah, I guess it was a little rich. They said they saw a drop a cylinder. It was a good race, and mid-track I was actually a little ahead of him, and like he said, you know, our car's got a good top end, but not that time. It was just running on 7 cylinders.
Well, you worked hard, and you ran very well, and congratulations on being the quickest driver of all time in this category.
Thank you.
Mark Oswald holds the national record. He is leading the points chase, but he is very disappointed at his loss in the second round of competition for this prestigious U.S. Nationals title. 2 drivers that are in the thick of the chase. Ed McCulloch in the near lane, Jim Head in the far lane. The burnouts are over. The staging procedure is almost completed, and it's a good start for both drivers. It is McCulloch with a slight lead, but Jim Head begins to come on, and at the finish line, a big upset. It is Jim Head from Columbus, Ohio, the man the best finish thus far. Only a runner-up spot, 5.92 seconds, but look at his speed, 255 miles an hour, and that's where he came around and defeated Ed McCulloch at the finish line. So 2 of the 3 all-star racing team entries of Larry Minor are out of competition. The only car remaining is the boss himself. Back at the starting line, we're into the burnout procedures as we have more funny cars. These 2,500 horsepower plus fiberglass creations are one of the crowd's favorites, and this is one of the best. Tom the Mongoose McEwen, hailing from Fountain Valley, California. McEwen is regarded by many as one of the premier drivers ever to sit behind the wheel of a championship drag racing car. He's driven them all, from a top fuel dragster to a funny car, you name it. For John Collins, a long and illustrious career for Collins. He calls Long Beach, California home. They're meeting here on the starting line at the U.S. Nationals, the most prestigious race of them all. It was in 1978 that Tom McEwen pulled off the upset of that year as he defeated Don Prudhomme in the finals of Funny Car. The Mongoose would love to repeat this year. John Collins trying to stop him, though. Can it be done? Let's see. Collins up in smoke, and it is McEwen just glued to the asphalt and through the finish line and almost losing control as the parachutes come out. John Collins coasts across the finish line. But for McEwen, a 5.85 seconds at 238 miles an hour. One of the surprise winners has been Jim Head.
I can tell you exactly how you won that. A big top-end charge at 255.
Well, I thought it was running pretty hard on the high end, and I went around him in the top of high gear, and I didn't see him anymore. I went across the finish line.
And that kind of speed doesn't really pay any money, but it tells you got a lot of power there that maybe you could work on the elapsed time with.
Well, my race car's been running a lot of speed all year. We run 260 already this year. We run over 258 about 4 or 5 times, and a lot of 255. So hopefully we'll get a little more ET out of it for this race.
Yeah, it's going to take better than 590.
Is that what it ran, 590? It's a little slow.
Jim Head, knowing he has to improve on his elapsed time performance, but he's already made it into the semifinals. We'll find out how he does in just a short while. Right now, we're down to the last 2 cars in this round of racing. Kenny Bernstein is in the near lane, and his fellow Texan doing the burnout in the far lane is Billy Meyer from Waco, Texas. It was 1 year ago that Kenny Bernstein had one of the greatest 3 weeks in championship drag racing. He won nearly $100,000, culminating that streak with a big win at the U.S. Nationals. His competition is a man that started driving funny cars at the tender age of 16, Billy Meyer. Meyer is lined up in his Mustang in the far lane, and the Ford tempo-bodied creation will be Bernstein in the near lane. Both cars highly competitive, and it is Bernstein off the mark first. Smoking the tires is Meyer, and Bernstein with an easy go. Runs over 249 miles an hour at 5.84 seconds. That sets up our semifinal round of competition in Funny Car. Jim Head against Tom McEwen. Frank Hawley against Kenny Bernstein. Over in the top fuel pit area, there's a lot of frantic work going on in Larry Miner's All-Star Racing Team entry. Remember, out of 3 cars, Miner is the only one remaining. The work goes on to rebuild the engine as we'll be coming right back to the U.S. Nationals. 2 of the all-time greats in the sport of drag racing, Don Prudhomme and Don Garlits, comparing notes. Between them, a total of 11 U.S. Nationals victories, 6 to Prudhomme, 5 to Garlits. This year, Prudhomme lost in the first round to Billy Meyer. Another loser in round number 1 was Gary Beck.
Gary, in a lot of ways, you must wish that you were in the seat of that race car going against Don Garlits, because he's a particular favorite of yours. Anytime you can punish him.
Well, it is. I'm real pleased that Don has chosen to come back and really race and go after us competitively, and he certainly is capable of doing it. He's as tough as they come. We all know that. It's going to be a good drag race against Larry Miner. It's our cars starting to run a little better for him, but it's going to be good. We'll see, you know.
You've raced Don Garlits so many times, battling for world titles over the years. Any advice for Larry how to race Don Garlits?
Well, he's pretty clever, you know, and he's real cagey. I was watching Don the last 2 runs, and I've already been talking to Larry a little bit about what he's been doing, so that Larry's a little more familiar with some of his techniques that he's using around the start line, so it won't surprise Larry. But Larry does a good job there on his own, you know. But it's going to be a great drag race.
I must agree with that.
The reigning world champion, Gary Beck, now helping his boss and car owner, Larry Miner, as he gets set to go against Don Garlits. While all this preparation has been going on, we've been having the second round of Pro Stock Eliminator. In the factory hot rods in the near lane, it was Lee Shepard driving for the team of Rare and Morrison. Gordy Rivera in the far lane, and Rivera pulled off the upset. Mechanical troubles slowed Shepard, and Rivera, a happy man as he won.
Gordy Rivera, Yuma, Arizona. Like any drag racer who's ever beaten Lee Shepard, he is very excited about it.
I like that one.
I'll bet you did. What happened on the starting line up there?
I was super ready. I figured another one.
You know, so many drivers red light against Shepard and really give away their chance on the starting line.
I've done that once this year. I said I wasn't going to do it no more. I waited for that yellow and I left.
I tell you, it's good to see a new face down here in the pro stock standings, and a beautiful job with a beautiful car, Gordy.
Thank you. Thank you.
We then watch the classic Ford versus Chevrolet battle. In the near lane, it is Bob Glidden, the hometown favorite, driving his Ford Thunderbird against New Jersey's Frank Iaconio, driving his Chevrolet Camaro. Both cars left the starting line with the wheels in the air. As the power was applied down the quarter-mile racetrack, at the finish line, it was the Ford Thunderbird just eking out a win by half a car length.
These guys are outgunned, I'm telling you, we're going to have to make some changes. We need to run a little better than we've run. We need to run a middle 60.
A funny car driver, top fuel, they can put in more nitro or drive the blower harder. What does a pro stock guy do to whittle up a few hundreds?
We'll probably change engines between this round and the next.
Our next pair of cars saw the Oldsmobile of Warren Johnson in the near lane racing against the Pontiac Firebird of Ronnie Manchester. The two cars came off the starting line relatively even, but it was not long before the power of the Oldsmobile took over, and by several car lengths, it was Warren Johnson taking the second round win over Ronnie Manchester. Our final pair in round number 2 of Pro Stock Racing found Joe Lapone Jr. driving a Pontiac in the near lane against the bright red Camaro owned by Bob Piniella and driven by the veteran Ken Dondero. Dondero had the slight advantage off the starting line. He held the lead at this point, but the power of Joe Lapone's car almost pulled out a win. Oh, so close at the finish. Look at the times. 7.79 for Lapone, Dondero at 7.82. The advantage off the starting line paid off. There's our semifinalists. Ken Dondero against Bob Glidden, Gordy Rivera against Warren Johnson. It is Johnson, number 4 in the world last year, driving the Oldsmobile Cutlass. Gordy Rivera at the wheel of his Chevrolet Camaro. These cars use engines up to 500 cubic inches in displacement, run on racing gasoline, are limited to 2 4-barrel carburetors, and must weigh no less than 2,350 pounds with the driver. Very evenly matched. The Oldsmobile in the far lane, the Chevrolet in the near lane. The factory hot rods of Championship Drag Racing's Pro Stock Eliminator. The power of Johnson's Oldsmobile proves out to be the winner at 7.64 seconds at a speed of over 181 miles an hour. So Warren Johnson of Duluth, Georgia, advances into the finals of the 30th annual U.S. Nationals. Here is the Ford Thunderbird of Bob Glidden, using a 500 cubic inch shotgun Ford engine, a race motor designed and developed by Ford. Against him, Ken Dondero driving Bob Canella's car, this with the big block 500 cubic inch Chevrolet motor. The fans love it when the Ford versus Chevrolet battle matches up on the starting line. The teaming of Ken Dondero and Bob Piniella is a rematch of a driver-owner team that dated back over a decade in drag racing. The Ford of Glidden in the far lane, Ken Dondero in the near lane. Together they leave the starting line. It is Dondero and Glidden side by side, and at the finish line, it is by a half a car length Bob Glidden, 7.72 at a speed of over 178 miles an hour. As we watch again, you see the two cars almost as one, clawing into the air, the front wheels off the pavement, the rear tires trying to get a hold of the pavement, pulling the cars ahead, headed for that finish line 1,320 feet away. As they reach the speed traps at the finish line, Glidden begins to pull ahead and by a half a car length takes the win. That sets up the finals in Pro Stock, Bob Glidden against Warren Johnson. There are several special awards presented at the U.S. Nationals. Steve Evans has one of them.
Well, Dave, the McGuire Wax people have done it again. From the over 1,000 entries here at the U.S. Nationals, their Best Appearing Car Award goes to just a jewel of a racing machine. It's Brad Klein's A-Factory Experimental, a Don Ness chassis topped with a gleaming red 84 Camaro body, painted by Gene Fashing, the Pro Stock racer. Now look at the detail in this back window. It is all Zeus buttoned in for easy removal so that they can clean all of this beautiful hand-formed aluminum inside and get to their weight transfer bars very easily. The stripe along the side, it's not just on the side. As we open the door, we'll see that it even continues through the door jamb. Brad Klein is a psychotherapist from Amarillo, Texas, and if you look at this car, every screw in the entire car has the head pointed in the same direction. That indeed would drive you crazy.
Right you are, Steve. And our congratulations on a beautiful car to Brad Klein. Here is a beautiful car, too, as the long-awaited Top Fuel semifinals just about ready to go. Don Garlits into the lanes at the U.S. Nationals.